Hello, this is Kathy Passwark, your instructor for FS 102, here today to talk to you about the important topic of accepting personal responsibility. Educators have found the choices of successful students are listed here. Successful students adopt a creator role. They believe that their choices create the outcomes they desire in their lives. They master creator language and they accept personal responsibility for their results. Struggling students, on the other hand, accept the victim role, believing that external forces determine their outcomes and experiences of their lives. They use victim languages, they blame, complain, and make excuses. I would encourage all of you to adopt a creator mindset. If we look at this, you have a stimulus that could happen, and then you make a choice based on that occurrence. A victim's response would be to blame, complain, make excuses, and then perhaps even repeat that behavior. The result will be that they seldom achieve their goals. On the other hand, the same stimulus with a different choice given to a creator, their response would be that they would seek solutions, take action, perhaps try something new, and then what we find is that they often achieve their goals. The book encourages you to change any victim language that you might already be using into creator language. We should all start being aware of when we use victim language. Victim language often is blaming others or blaming ourselves, complaining, being negative, making excuses for bad things that happen in our lives. The results are that they waste time and energy, and they seldom achieve their desired outcomes and experiences. For example, a victim might say, if I weren't so stupid, I wouldn't have to take this dumb class again. Let's say this is in the circumstance of a student who didn't pass a class and has to repeat it the following semester. A creator would say, on the other hand, I know I didn't spend nearly enough time studying last semester. This semester, I'm going to study for this class every day from 3:30 to 4:30, and I'll also go to the tutoring center for 2 hours Tuesdays and Thursdays. With these changes, I know I can be successful this semester. So you can see a victim versus a creator. A creator speaks in positive terms, talks about what they will do, what will happen in a proactive and positive way. This slide indicates the curse of what they call stinkin' thinkin', which I'm sure you read about in your book. So A equals the activating event plus your beliefs equals the consequences. So let's look at this in terms of those three things: the inner critic, the inner defender, and the inner guide that you read about. An inner critic, if the activating event was that the instructor didn't show up for a meeting, the belief of that inner critic would be, the instructor thinks I'm stupid, I'll never finish college, I'm a failure. Really goes all out with that negative thinking. And then what happens with that student is they get depressed, they waste the evening, they give up on their studies. An inner defender, same circumstance, instructor didn't show up for a meeting, that darn instructor, he or she won't help me, the instructor doesn't care, got angry is the consequence for that student, and spent the evening complaining to friends. What's important for us to keep in mind is, in that same scenario, what does the inner guide, the voice that we want to listen to, say? That student would say, if they're listening to their inner guide, something must have come up for the instructor. I'll reschedule. Not a big deal, right? So much more relaxed, a lot less stress. And then the consequence for that student would be that they rescheduled with the instructor and had a productive meeting at another time. Which one would you rather be? Obviously, the inner guide has the best result here, the best consequence. So let's try and make choices based on what our inner guide is telling us. It's important for us to become familiar with that inner voice. A lot of us might have a critic or defender within our heads talking to us and saying some of those negative things, critiquing others, critiquing ourselves, but we really want to listen to the inner guide. It's our wise inner voice. It disputes the irrational beliefs that might come about by listening to the inner defender or inner critic. And it checks in to ask, am I on course? And asks, how can I get back on course? In summary, I would really encourage you to pay attention to the language that you use. The assignments will help you to practice that kind of language. Listen to what your inner voices are saying and take responsibility for your choices and actions. Thank you for listening to this lecture on personal responsibility.